Testing, testing. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi. Sorry, so currently there are some problems with the audio, so nothing can be heard from just now. So I have to repeat all over again. So we continue on Abdurrahman Balkhi's kitab on Risalatul Jami'ah. Okay, according to the matan, فمن ترك ركنا ولم يصح حجه ولا يحل من إحرامه حتى يأتي به ولا يجبره دم ولا غيره ثلاثة من الأركان لا تفوته ما دام حيا وهي الطواف والسعي والحلق ومن ترك شيئا من الواجبات صح حجه ولزمه دم وعليه إثم إن لم يعذر ومن ترك شيئا من السنن فلا شيء عليه ولكن تفوته فضيلة. So this is the explanation. Rahman is actually explaining on the expiations in Hajj and Umrah. So whoever misses out a rukun, his Hajj will not be valid, and it is not permitted for him to leave the state of ihram until he completes it. That is, complete the rukun. An atonement payment of the penalty known as dam will not make up for it, nor will anything else. So this one we have actually mentioned also. The main acts of the three acts of Hajj, Rukun, Wajibat, and Sunan. So Rukun, the Hajj will not be valid without performing all the Rukun. You cannot leave any of the Rukun out, and no dam will make up for it. Whereas Wajibat, if you leave any Wajibat, the Hajj can still be valid, but a dam has to be paid. So three of the arkan will always be binding as long as the person performing Hajj is alive. They are tawaf, sa'i, and shaving or cutting off the hair. That is halak. So tawaf, sa'i, and halak, this one will be binded to a person performing Hajj as long as he is alive. That means these are the rukun of Hajj. That means if he miss any of the rukun, he will have to qada his Hajj or Umrah. If for no valid reason, then for valid reason, then it's considered as an emergency or got no choice. That one we will go to later. Whoever misses out the wajibat, his Hajj is valid, but he has to make a sacrificial slaughter. This is wajibat, difference from rukun. He will be in the state of sin if he misses it out without a legitimate excuse. But whoever misses out sunnah, his Hajj is valid and he is not in the state of sin and does not have to pay a dam penalty, although he has missed out a great deal of blessing. So, just to recap, Rukun, there are three acts of Hajj, Rukun, Wajibat, and Sunnah. So, Rukun, you have to do it, you have to perform all of the Rukun and cannot leave any of the Rukun because it will not be valid. The Hajj or Umrah will not be valid unless all the Rukun are performed. Arkan, all of it must be performed, and no dam will make up for it. The second one is wajibat, must be performed also. It is wajib. Then if any of the wajibat is left with a valid reason, then the Hajj can still be valid, but a dam has to be paid. That means you have to slaughter an animal with every wajibat that is being left. And if the wajibat is left on purpose, intentionally, then it is a sin. Although the Hajj can still be valid with payment of the dam by sacrificing an animal, but it's sinful to do that. But it is not intentionally, then it's not sinful, and the Hajj will be valid provided he makes a sacrificial slaughter. Then the third act is sunnah, sunan. The sunnah of Hajj doesn't affect the validity of the Hajj or Umrah, but to leave it is that means you are missing on a great deal of blessing. You will miss a lot of rewards. So we will proceed on the expiations in Hajj and Umrah. Jima, there is actually a special category, special chapter on this Jima ul Hajj and Umrah. Jima ul Hajj, especially. This chapter is a bit it's lengthy and can be confusing. So we will just go through just the basics, just the very basics, because it can be broken down into a lot of problems in this. There are many problems in this chapter, this Jima on Hajj. So the first is the category of the expiations. There are mainly, just to make it simple, the expiations is called dam. Dam is called expiation. Expiation is called dam. Uh, but there is also a lower penalty that is fidya. So we will focus on expiation first. Expiation is the slaughter of an animal. So first we have to know the terminologies used in this chapter. So they will mainly four terminologies will be used: at-tartib, at-takhir, at-takdir, at-ta'dil. So at-tartib means the what is it? Sequence. So it's not permitted to go to the next alternative except for legitimate excuses. This is tartib. Second one is free to choose from three alternatives. This is takhir. And the third one is takdir, means predetermined items set by the Sharia, and ta'dil, estimate based substitutes. So these four will be combined and made into four categories. Then from there, you will see the four categories of Jima ul Hajj, the expiations of Hajj. So the categories of expiations in Hajj and Umrah is the first one, dam tartib wa takdir. Dam tartib wa takdir. Alternative, the penalty is known as alternatives in a fixed precedence order and predetermined amount. So fixed precedence order with predetermined amount. So you cannot go to the next level, next alternative without a legitimate excuse. That is the first category. Second category is damu tartib wa ta'dil. Tartib, fixed precedence order of alternatives involving estimate-based substitutes. Substitutes. Ta'dil. So tartib wa ta'dil. So this is the second category. The third category, damu takhir wa ta'dil. Takhir means able to choose. So choosing between alternatives consisting of estimate-based substitutes. That is ta'dil. So takhir wa ta'dil. Choosing between alternatives consisting of estimate-based substitutes. The last category is damu takhir wa takdir. Takhir means you can choose, free to choose. Then takdir, predetermined alternatives. So in this category, you are free to choose one of three predetermined alternatives. You can choose any one of them to execute the dump. So we will go into that one by one. The first one, the first category is damu tartib wa takdir. Alternatives in a fixed precedence order and predetermined amount. These are this expression will be relevant for those performing Haji Tamattu, Haji Tamattu, Haji Tamattu in Hajj Kiran, and not performing wukuf at Arafah and breaking one's vow. And there are more. Then missing any of the wajibat. So all these acts, if you perform Hajj Tamattu, or you perform Haji Kiran, or you miss or did not perform wukuf at Arafah, or you break your vow, you you have vowed for something during a Hajj, like Wallahi, I will do this and this. Or if Wallahi, if this thing happen, I will do this. Then you didn't do the vow. You didn't carry out your vow, then that's considered breaking the vow. And so you will have to pay an expiation. You have to pay a dump penalty. So for tamattu, if you perform tamattu, if you perform haji tamattu, then you will have to pay a dump. Same goes for haji kiran, but you only have to pay for dump if you don't go back to your miqat. Like tamattu is you do umrah first, right? Umrah. Then after once you finish your umrah, then from Mecca itself, you enter into ihram for Hajj. But if you don't, because it's tamattu, make it like relax, leisure, it's easy. So you have to pay a dam. But if you don't want to pay a dam, then you will have to, after once the Hajj season is in, you will have to leave Mecca and go back to your miqat and enter your ihram for Hajj and enter Mecca again. In that way, you don't have to pay a dam. Then Kiran also the same thing. If you don't go back to your miqat, then you will have to pay a dam. Then third one is if you do not wukuf at Arafah. If you miss wukuf at Arafah, then you will have to pay a dam. This is called damul fawad. Damul fawad is for those who have missed Arafah during his or her Hajj period. So what you have to do is once you miss your Arafah is that's it. Your Hajj is gone. It can never be valid. So you have to do a qada. So what you do is wajib for him to get out of the ihram. He cannot continue. It's haram for him to continue with the ihram. Once he missed the Arafah without any valid reason, if with valid reason, then it's okay. But without any valid reason, then uh, he will have to pay dam. First, he will have to uh, tahallul. He will have to get out of the ihram from uh, from ihram al-hajj. So he will have to just continue and do he get out of the ihram by doing the acts of umrah. That is, if he haven't do tawaf and sa'i, so he have to go back and do tawaf and sa'i, then cut tahallul, cut his hair. Then after that, all these three acts, it's like umrah, right? And so he is free from his ihram. That means he's out already. He's out. And then the next year, or as soon as possible, next year or next 2 years, whenever he's can do it, he will have to come back and return to perform his Hajj. Uh, so it's considered as Hajjul Qaba. He have to make up Hajj, and then he have to pay a dam. Then the next one is okay, breaking one's vow. This one is straightforward. If you break a vow, you pay a dam during Hajj period. Then if you miss any of wajibat of Hajj, so if you miss stoning at the stoning sites of Mina, then you will have to pay a dam. Dam is slaughter an animal. So if you miss 3 times or more, if you miss one, then you only pay fidya. Fidya is you pay about 0.5 liter of uh, wheat or rice to the poor in Al Haram, the sacred blessing. So if you miss one stoning, then you pay one fidya. If you miss two, then you pay two fidya. It's about 0.5 liter of wheat or grains or what, rice. So it's about 0.75 kg down there of wheat or grain or rice. So Down there they will know. If you go there, you have to pay fidya. You go to the shops that take all these orders, and they will know, and they will show you where to distribute also. It's quite clear on that. It's very easy. Then if you miss 3 stonings, then straight away dump. You don't pay 3 fidya. If 3 or more, then you pay dump. Slaughter an animal. And then the second one is miss all 3 nights at Mina. Because you have to maybe at Mina, right? If you miss 1 or 2 nights, then you pay fidya. 1 night, one fidya. 2 nights, 2 fidya. 1 month, 1 month or 1 night. So 2 nights, 2 months. If you miss 3 nights, then you have to pay a dam, slaughter an animal. So this is provided you didn't get out of Mina on the second, the first nafar al-awal, the first exit. After 2 nights, you can go. You can leave Mina, right? So if you don't get out, you continue for the third one. Then you have to continue. So if you miss all 3, then you pay them. Then next one is miss spending the night at Muzdalifah. If you miss any spending the night at Muzdalifah, same thing. You pay a dam. So spending the night at Muzdalifah is just what is that? It's just for a while, right? So if you didn't even go to Muzdalifah, then you will be considered you miss the night at Muzdalifah, so you have to pay a dam. Then next one is not entering ihram at the proper site. That means you did not enter ihram at the miqat, uh, at your proper miqat. You have went through the miqat explanation. So if he did not enter his ihram at his designated miqat, then he have to pay dam. His Hajj can still be valid. Then not performing tawaf al-wada, except for menstruating woman. So tawaf wada is wajib for us in our madhab. So if you did not perform tawaf al-wada, then your Hajj can still be valid, but you will have to pay adam. Tawaf al-wada is the farewell tawaf, the last thing before you leave Mecca, the haram. So, but if a woman is menstruating, then she will not have to perform the tawaf al-wada, and there is no dam, there's no penalty for her. Other than that, the man, you cannot leave tawaf al-wada, or non-menstruating woman, you cannot leave tawaf al-wada. So what is the explanation? What is the dam in this category? The explanation is slaughter a sheep meeting sacrifice specifications and distribute to the poor. So the person have to slaughter a sheep that meets the sacrifice specifications, like the Eid specification, korban, the slaughter of the Eid in Adha, Udhiyah. The sheep has to meet the specification of Udhiyah, the sacrifice specifications. Then the meat has to be distributed to the poor in Al-Haram. You cannot bring back. You have to distribute the meat there. And if unable to do so, this is why it's called tartib. Well, tartib. Tartib. If unable to do so, person have to fast for 3 days while in Mecca and 7 days when back in one's homeland. So let's say the person have no money to slaughter a sheep, to buy a sheep and slaughter a sheep, or he have some money but it's needed for him to is needed for his expenditure in Mecca while in Hajj, or for his departure later back home. He will need that money. In this case, we can move to the next alternative, which is he have to fast for 3 days in Mecca. While he is in Mecca, he have to fast 3 days. Then he go back to his homeland. He continue another 7 days. That is the explanation. But he cannot go to the second alternative if he can afford the first alternative. So that is the first category. The second category is damu tartib wa ta'dil, fixed precedence order of alternatives involving estimate-based substitutes. For this category, only two category of two type of person will be affected. The first is being prevented completing all the integrals of Hajj or Umrah. It's called this person is called al-muhsar. Al-muhsar is a person who is being prevented to complete his Hajj or Umrah due to valid reasons. Like he knows that if he continue with the Hajj, he go to this place to perform wukuf for example, then someone will kill him, or an enemy will find him there, or he fear for his life, or he is sick, he cannot go, or he is attending to a sick person, and the sick or attending to a sick person, and the sick person really want him to stay. All these are valid reasons, but without valid reasons, he will not be under this category. He will be considered as the whatever reason is other reasons. But this category is considered the legitimate reasons. So if he is being prevented from completing all the integrals of Hajj and Umrah, he is considered muhsar. So he have to get out of the ihram, right? So his expiation will be release himself. He will have to release himself from ihram by slaughtering a sheep and distributed it distribute into the distribute it to the poor to the poor in al haram, in the masjid, in the haram area. Then after that he will shave his head, shave or cut his head. The woman cannot shave. So shave or cut his head, halak his hair. Then if he is unable to do so, then he will go to the next level, next sequence. Next tip is slaughter. If he unable to slaughter, then he have to estimate its value. Estimate the value of, let's say I slaughter. If I slaughter a sheep, it will cost me $200, for example. So the value is $200, right? So I will buy the food worth of 200 food worth $200 worth of food and distribute the food in al haram to the poor people in haram. Then if he's still unable to do so, he buy he fast 1 day for each of the uh, mode of wheat that would have been given if one had able to do so. So this is a tactic. He cannot move to the next level unless he cannot afford to do so. There's a valid reason for not doing for not able to do the 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 penalty. So the last one will be fast for every mode that he would have been able to he would have been even able to give. The second type of person is if he have spoiled his Hajj or Umrah by having sexual intercourse. And he must be aware of the prohibition. If he is not aware, then this expression uh, won't be binded to him. He have spoiled because having sexual intercourse during ihram will spoil the Hajj or Umrah. So you have to get out of the. He will have to pay an expiation. So this is called the kafaratul uzma, the grand expiation for this act of having sexual intercourse during one's Hajj or Umrah. Then he will have to pay the grand expiation. That means the kafaratul uzma. So the expiation is slaughter a camel and distribute the meat to the poor in Al-Haram. Not a sheep, but a camel. So a camel is more expensive, obviously. So this is the only one that you have to slaughter a camel without any choice in the person. There is another one where you slaughter a camel, but this one is the so-called the highest level of expiation, camel. So if he cannot afford a camel or there is no camel available, then he have to slaughter a cow. If he still cannot find a cow or cannot afford a cow, then seven sheep. If he cannot afford or there are no sheep available or cannot find or whatever valid figure, then he move to the next one which is um, estimate the value of the camel and buy food for the mount and distribute the food in Al-Haram to the needy, to the poor. So when they say buy food here, it's not just buy Burger King or McDonald's or whatever. You have to buy uh, buy wheat or, is it, or rice or what the, the staple food mm, of the place. So it's considered in mood. Like maybe seven one camel can buy, let's say, 100 mood. Then you have to buy 100 mood of wheat or rice. So in this category, only two. Then the third category is damu takhir wa ta'dil. Choose between alternatives consisting of estimate-based substitutes. This will be also two types of person, two types of acts. So the first one is killing wild animals which can be consumed and living on land. But sea, living in the sea, then no problem. You can do that. You can hunt for sea creatures during Hajj. But then not land. Those living on land, you cannot do that. You cannot kill any wild animals. Except for you want to eat for the purpose of eating, then okay. But not wild animals, just hunt. You cannot hunt them. Kill or hunt or even injure. You cannot do that. So doing that will lead to an explosion, a dump. Like many people will during the Hajj, you will see a lot of pigeons. These pigeons, you have to leave them alone. You uh, don't kill them, don't scare them, don't do anything to them. Because if you, let's say, you shoo them away and you accidentally hurt their wings or whatever, then the dump is on you. So there is the expression if there are two ways of saying the expression. First one, if there is a domestic animal of similar counterpart, like looks like it, looks like the animal or size of the animal, or a valid hadith saying that if you kill this, you have to pay this, then you will have to pay accordingly. Uh, the value doesn't matter. That means, for example, you have to slaughter a similar livestock. The first one is you have to slaughter a similar livestock. For example, a sheep for a rabbit. If you injure a rabbit or you kill a rabbit, then you will have to slaughter a sheep. Then if you kill or hunt a deer or injure a deer, then you will have to buy a cow. Uh, that that's they make it like considered counterpart, the same size or same features or similar, not same, like similar. And then distribute the meat to the poor in al-haram. Or you can choose. This one you don't have to stick to the first one. You can choose. You can choose either slaughter a similar livestock, or second one you can choose to estimate the value of the livestock that is similar to the animal that has been hunted, and distribute an equal amount of food to the poor in al-haram. Or you can choose also to fast one day for every mud, for every 0.5 liter or 0.75 kg of food that would have been bought for its value. So you can choose. There is no tertib here. You can choose either one of these. That's why it's called takhir wa ta'lim. Then if there is no similar, if there are no similar counterparts of the animal that has been hunted or killed, example, you kill a locust, even accidentally you kill a locust, then you choose between number two and three. I mean, purposely, if accidentally, then no problem. If you kill a locust or hunt a locust, and then the locust was injured or died, then you have to only choose from number two or three. That means estimate the value uh, of the livestock, or you fast for one day for every mood. Then the second type is destroying a tree within al-haram. So if you destroy any plants or tree in al-haram during your ihram, or even during out of ihram, even if you are not in ihram, there will be a dam. It's haram to do so, but if you are in ihram, there will be a dam. But if you are not in ihram, then it's still haram. So it is prohibited to uproot dried trees, but not cutting them. That means you can trim dried plants. You can trim. You can cut the leaves away. You can do that to tidy up the place, but you cannot uproot, pull it off. This is haram. But for fresh plants, young plants, still wet, then you cannot even uh, cut them. Just leave them alone. Then if you do so, then there will be a dump. If the tree is big, slaughter a cow. If the tree is small, slaughter a sheep. So you have to estimate. If you don't know how to estimate, then you have to ask ahli khibrah, or someone who knows how to estimate it. So you can choose between estimate the value of sheep. You can choose to slaughter a cow or a sheep, depending on the size. Or second choice is you can estimate the value of sheep or cow and distribute an equal amount of food to the poor in haram. Or you can fast for one day for every 0.5 liters of food that would have been bought for its value. So same thing, you can choose either one. There's no alternative here. The last one, final category is damu takhir wa takdir. So free to choose one of three predetermined alternatives. Same thing, there's no tertib for this category. For this category is for those basically muharramat. We call it muharramat. Uh, those things that you are not supposed, you are prohibited to do during your Hajj, and you do it, then this category kicks in. The exclusion from this category will come. Removal of 3 hairs at one time in place. If one at a time or between long interval, pay fidya only of 1 mud for each hair. That means if you remove during when once you enter ihram, certain things that are halal for you becomes haram. Well, some of it is shaving, plucking of your hair, any hair from your body, any hair, even your eyebrow or from the hair from your body, from your hand, from your legs, from everywhere. any hair will be haram. You cannot pluck, cannot remove, cannot shave, cannot cut any part of the hair. So, but if it shed, if the hair is shedded, the hair shed by itself, then there's no penalty. But if you pull it out or you cut it, like nose hair, or even when you run through your fingers on your on your on your head, on your hair, then you pull one hair. All these are considered pulling hair, considered removal by yourself. So if you see they remove one hair, one strand of hair, then there is no dam. You just pay fidya, one mut. So what people in during Hajj, Umrah normally no problem because it's a short time. The timing is short in the whole process of Umrah. You can even do 2 Umrahs in a day. But Hajj, you will be in Ihram for like a few days, at least 2-3 days. Minimum you can do is 2 days or 3 days. So you'll be in Ihram during that time. Those are the time that, and it can be longer for like those who are doing the Ifrat. Then they will be in Ihram for like 7 days or 5, 7 days, 8 days. Then they have to be careful of all these, all the muharramat. They have to take care prohibitions. So they will keep track every hair they remove. Like when they comb their hair, then they see one hair fall down. There is one figure. Then the next time they comb again, one more hair, two figure. But let's say if they run through the hair, then they find three strands of hair at the same time, then it's automatically dump. One slaughter, one dump. If you do another three, then one more dump. But if one, then it will be like you can reach up to like 10 or 20 fidya. So you just pay the fidya. But three at a time, then will be considered as dump. But one can be it's just fidya. 1, 2, 1, 2 fidya. The second thing is trimming 3 nails at one time and face. Same thing like hair, three nails. You cut 3 times, then considered dump. If one, then it's fidya. Even you did it on accidentally, I mean you forgot, then you realize, oh, it's haram. Then it's mut. You have to pay one fidya. But if you cut 3 times, then after that you realize, oh, it's you are not supposed to do, you're not supposed to do so, then you have to pay them. Then for men, wearing sewn garments or covering their heads, this will also uh, lead to dam. Men cannot wear sewn garments during their ihram or cover their head. They cannot cover their heads. And for women, they cannot cover their face and they cannot cover their hands. They cannot wear gloves. Then using perfumes or scents in whatever is considered as perfume or scents, like even uh, scented soap. You're not supposed to use that during during your Hajj, during Ihram. Then using oil, you cannot oil your hair, you cannot oil your skin. All this will lead to dam. Then sexual foreplay other than intercourse. Sexual foreplay will lead to dam also. But if intercourse, then there will be kafaratul ulma. The expression is larger, it's bigger. Then the sexual intercourse after having spoiled one's Hajj by an initial intercourse. So the initial intercourse, which he had to pay kafaratul ulma, then he do another sexual intercourse while still in ihram. Then we have to slaughter a sheep. Then the last one is sexual intercourse between the first and second tahallul. That means because Hajj there are two tahallul. Tahallul awal and tahallul thani, the final tahallul. So if after the tahallul awal, you still cannot have sex, you cannot get married, you cannot be what is that, shahid or any marriage. Nothing to do. All the anything to do with a woman is still not uh, is not permitted yet until the second tahallul. So after the first tahallul, you can drop your ihram, you can remove your ihram, you can wear sun garments, you can shave your hair, you can wear perfume, but anything to do with woman, anything to do with sexual intercourse and sexual foreplay is still not permitted yet until the second tahallul. Uh, So what is the expression in this category is slaughter a sheep, meeting sacrifice precipitations, and distribute to the poor in Al Haram. Then, or you can choose to fast for 3 days, whenever, wherever you can, even not consecutively. You can just fast for 3 days, even in Mecca or back in your homeland. It's up to you. Then the third choice is give 1 liter, 2 mods, 2 mods or half a sack of wheat or grains or what is it, rice to each of 6 poor person in Al Haram. Uh, you have to get 6 poor person, and every poor person to give 2 mods of wheat or rice, and to be given in Al Haram. So you can choose either one. It doesn't have to be in order. So those are the four expressions of Hajj. Then I just continue a bit more. Then Habib Ahmad continued, ويهرم ستر رأس الرجل ووجه المرأة المحرمين أو بعضها أو إزالة الظفر والشعر ودهن شعر الرأس واللحية وتطيب جميع البدن. This is Nabi Ahmad continued on the Muharramat. Inshallah next maybe we'll go to Muharramat and to the end. Wallahu a'lam. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ومن نفعنا بما علمنا ربي علمنا الذي ينفعنا ربي فقنا وفقه علنا وقرابة لنا في ديننا مع أهل ذكر أنت وذكر ربي وقنا وفقهم بما تقتضي قولا وفعلا كما ورزق كل حلالا دائما وأخلا أتقى علماء نهضى بالخير ونقبل كل شر ربنا أصلح لنا كل شيء وجر برك منك العلي ونربي عنا ربنا كل الدين قد لا أنت أتينا مسلمون واغفر واستر أنت أكرم من ستاه وصلاة الله تغشى مستقاما إلى الحج تعالى والوفاة كتاب فيه للناس شفاء وعلى الآل الكرام وعلى الآل الكرام شرفا وعلى الصحابة وصحبه الغرار اللهم اهدنا بهداك واجعلنا ممن يسارع في هداك ولا تولنا وليا سواك ولا تجعلنا ممن خلق أمرك وعصاك وحسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم الحمد لله رب العالمين.